So in this video we're going to look at some bad shiny Pokemon, and I'm going to show you what I came up with in trying to fix these pretty bad designs. Unfortunately, a lot of shiny Pokemon are very boring and or bad. Some of them just seem to have very similar colors to their regular forms, or just ugly color palettes in general. So, through the use of Photoshop, I tried to change that for some of these poor fellas. And for some of them, honestly, it doesn't even really have to be a new shiny color scheme. It could even just be their new regular color scheme, because I honestly like some of what I came up with better than even the regular colors. You might not agree, but I tried my best, so here we go. And I should note, this is just Kanto Pokemon, and I just picked some that I thought either have bad shinies to begin with or could have better shinies. I'm starting with Venusaur. I skipped Ivysaur and Bulbasaur just because I wanted to do like one representative for each line. And Venusaur's shiny isn't that bad, it's just that I thought maybe it could do something a little more unique. So what I did was just simply change its skin to red, and now it looks like a strawberry. So, yep. But seriously, I honestly think this does look pretty cool. Whether as like shiny colors or even if the entire design just got reworked into, instead of being like a poisonous flower, it's just literally a strawberry frog, and then it's just like a pure grass type or something. Anyway, I also did Blastoise because Blastoise's shiny actually sucks, and I came up with this. I sort of based its new color on like sand, since it is a water type. I was just thinking of like, I don't know, sand and the beach and stuff. And this result, I honestly kind of like it. It leans a little bit towards gold, and gold is an awesome color, and gold shinies are always really cool. Then we have Caterpie. Its regular shiny is kind of meh. I came up with this. You know, some real-life caterpillars, they take on striking, bright colors to say, like, don't eat me. That's kind of what I was going for here. And also just the red kind of looks cool in general. Almost kind of makes it look like shiny Gyarados. A lot more threatening, even though it is still cute, so maybe not. I just like these colors. This is one of the ones that I honestly think this would also just work as like regular colors for the design. Anyway, then we've got Weedle, and here I actually have two different examples. Since it is a poison type, I wanted to make its colors purple, because I feel like that's the color associated with poison a lot. This one right here sort of inspired me in a lot of later of the recolorings I did to use more like washed out and dull colors, because honestly sometimes those are more effective, to me at least, than just like saturated neon stuff. So here we have like an actually fully saturated purple Weedle, but then we have a very desaturated version where the purple is almost a bit gray, and I honestly like that a little more. I just have both of these examples just to show them off. Either way, they're both sort of purplish to convey that poison type, and I like them both, honestly. Then for Pidgeot, this isn't a poison type, but I was messing around with some colors, and I came up with a sort of gray and purple color scheme, and I honestly think it looks really cool. I wouldn't even be against this being its regular colors. This honestly might be one of my favorite ones I came up with. It's very simple, but I think very effective. For Fearow, again, I was just messing around with some colors, and the best color combo I saw in my eyes was this, using some different blue shades. No particular reason to make it blue, I just think it looks cool, and of course its regular shiny is just disgusting, so this is definitely an improvement. Anyway, Pikachu, it doesn't have the most ideal shiny, and I guess in retrospective the one I came up with isn't the best either, but what I came up with here is sort of just a nod towards Gorochu, which is Pikachu's scrapped evolution. I don't even know if that thing was ever even confirmed to be red or like deep orange like I made this. It's just that a lot of people speculate it would have been, so yeah, this is just sort of a nod to that, and it's a more actually like pronounced version of Pikachu's regular shiny, leading more into the orange shade. Then for Raichu, just completely ignoring what I just did there, I made Raichu blue. Don't know why, I just thought it looks cool, so there's that. Same for Sandslash, it's also blue now. Also looks cool. Don't know why I did that though. Actually, I do know why I did this one. It was sort of a nod to a Alolan Sandslash being an ice type, so there's that. As for Nidoqueen, this one I actually thought about a little bit, because if you've noticed, the shiny Nidos, they all sort of share the regular color of their opposite gender version, except for Nidoqueen. So, instead of it just being green for no reason, I actually made it look like Nidoking. And I gotta say, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, after all, these are literally just Nidoking's colors. Next up, we've got Clefairy. I don't really know what I was doing here. I just made it green, but then again, I did think it looks kind of good, and I still do think it looks kind of good. And then Jigglypuff, I made it blue. No real reasoning there either. I think I was thinking it's round. It kind of looks like a bubble. Bubble is water, water, blue. There's this, I guess. But I mean, it looks kind of cool. Kind of similar to Shiny Mew, going from pink to blue. Anyway, Paris. For this, I used some very muted greens and bluish shades, whatever you would call this, because I was really trying to convey the fact that it's like a parasitic zombie type of thing with the fungus and stuff. And yeah, I honestly like this quite a bit. This is another one I wouldn't mind if this is actually just the regular colors. Diglett, I came up with this, trying to make its color palette look a lot more ashy or like metallic, since it does live in the ground and the rocks it comes out of are sort of grayish. For Meowth, I mean, its regular shiny's terrible, and I was experimenting with some like extreme color changes and I just wasn't really liking it, so I ended up just making it white, because white cats are cute and this looks kind of cool. Although I was also kind of trying to make it look silver, like I made the coin metallic silver instead of gold, because it is based on like a lucky cat and gold and stuff, so it's sort of like the opposite now. For Golduck here, I came up with this, sort of trying to make it actually resemble Psyduck's colors a little bit more, but also I just think this color scheme looks really cool regardless, and its regular shiny is terrible. Then we've got Primeape. I gave it this gray and white color scheme for a few reasons. First of all, there are some like monkeys out there that have this white fur, like those ones that live in little hot springs or whatever. Or like a Yeti, I was also thinking of that. And also because Annihilape sort of has a color scheme like this, which is its cross-gen Evo. Either way, I do think this one looks pretty cool too. Arcanine, this is another one I just made blue for no particular reason, just think it looks kind of cool. Alakazam, this is one I'm really proud of. Even though I've been using a lot of muted colors, this one I went pretty saturated with, and I think it came out pretty good. Since it is a psychic type, purple's often associated with that. I just made it purple, and I think it looks really cool. Wouldn't mind if this is the regular colors, since purple is honestly better conveying of the psychic type than yellow. Anyway, then for Farfetch'd, I just made it blue again, because why not? Doesn't look bad. Dugong here, its shiny is terrible, so instead I made it just sort of a suppressed reddish color. I just think it looks kind of cute. Well, I guess it looks cute all the time, but yeah. Then for Gengar, I sort of wanted to lean into like its Stadium 2 shiny sprite, where it was very dimmed and dark looking, and even some of its older shiny sprites look like this too. So I just sort of made it like black instead of purple, and yeah, this definitely looks cool. I was also considering making it white, since Mega Gengar shiny is white, but I just did this. And here's another version that I think honestly looks even better. You might disagree, but this one has blue eyes. I'm a big fan of what I did here. Moving on to Kingler, here's another one that I just turned blue, but that's because it's a water type, so I figured that actually makes sense, and it does look pretty cool, definitely better than its regular shiny. Executor, I gave it this cool, like, red, gradient, warm color scheme to sort of look like it's, like, a firework of the leaves, or, like, it's burning. I think this one came out pretty cool, and I do like this quite a bit, definitely better than the regular. Marowak, this is another one I just sort of leaned into darkness with it. I tried to make it look like it's like cloaked in shadows, but its eyes are still glowing, so I made it just a very saturated orange, and I definitely think it looks pretty cool here. Kangaskhan, I kind of wanted to lean into like a sort of dinosaur design, even though it is based on a kangaroo. That's like barely obvious, it almost looks more like a dinosaur sometimes, so I went with green, just because I feel like a lot of people associate that with dinosaurs. Then we've got Sea King, another one I just made blue, but this one also makes sense because it's a water type and I think it looks cool. Scyther, its shiny's terrible, but to go with Scizor being red, I made it red, and I didn't even know this until afterwards. Apparently this is pretty much literally just what its shiny looks like in Pokemon Stadium 2, because that game actually had some good shinies for Pokemon of terrible shinies, so I just accidentally made an official color scheme, I guess. Magmar, Again, I don't know why, blue shinies are just really cool. I just ended up making another blue color palette. I think this looks really cool. Pinsir, it's blue, but it looks pretty cool. Tauros here, I decided to go sort of with the Meowth route and make it like very pale gray. I realized that sometimes they don't really need to be some crazy saturated neon color, as I've mentioned. Then I did 2 of the Eeveelutions. I left Vaporeon out because its shiny's already pretty good. But Jolteon and Flareon, Jolteon, I tried to lean into like a plasma-looking color scheme of like a sort of turquoise teal type of color going on, and I actually changed its white mane to sort of look like it's like actually electric or like lightning waves coming out. This is honestly one of my favorite ones I did. I just think this looks pretty cool. And then Flareon, yep, I made it blue again because why not? Except this time I used less saturated colors, and I honestly think it looks pretty cool. Then we've got Aerodactyl. I gave it sort of a much warmer color scheme here. And for that I was sort of just thinking like, it sort of looks like a dragon. I feel like a lot of dragons are associated with the color red, mainly just because of like fire and fire-breathing dragons. Of course Aerodactyl isn't a fire type. I just did this anyway, and it doesn't look bad, honestly. Then for Snorlax, since it is, I think, at least partially based on a bear, I made it brown, like a grizzly bear. And now this isn't like the best looking shiny, it's just that this is more of a symbolic design choice as opposed to aesthetic. Anyway, then we've got the 3 legendary birds, because their shinies are just horrendous and worthless. For Articuno, I actually tried to come up with a color scheme that is more than just monochromatic, because I realized like a lot of these I'm just making monochromatic and a lot of actual shinies are just monochromatic and stuff, and let's try and get more than one color going here. So I mainly colored it red, which I thought looked pretty cool, but then instead of making its crest also red, I made it gray, because why not? It sort of goes in with the beak and talons, makes it look like it's made of like the same material as them and blends in pretty well. I mean, anything's better than regular shiny Articuno. Then for Zapdos, I came up with this, which I sort of kind of based off of like a thundercloud or something. And then Moltres, sort of the opposite of Articuno, I took it from red to blue, which I realized I've done a lot now, or just turning things blue. In fact, I think this is like the 3rd fire type I just turned blue, but it works. Actually, the 4th fire type I turned blue, never mind. But anyway, it works, and I think it looks pretty cool. And then 2 more things, we have Dragonite. I mean, some people might think its shiny looks good. I'm not the biggest fan, it would be cool if it actually had like Dragonair shiny colors. But instead of actually giving it Dragonair shiny colors, I just tried to do something unique instead, and I came up with this, giving it a nice red color palette. Same philosophy as the Aerodactyl thing, just making it look sort of draconic. And lastly, Mew. You might be thinking, what do you mean? You can't make Mew's shiny better, it's the best shiny ever. And to that I say, yeah, it's not the best shiny ever, but it's a good shiny. I just wanted to make a different variant of it, just as a little test, okay? So this isn't really part of the actual video. Here is a golden Mew because I like gold and yellow stuff, so yeah, I just wanted to see what this would look like. Anyway, that's all for Kanto. Terrible shinies. Maybe terrible, maybe making them better, I don't know, this is all subjective. But I did it, I guess, and you watched it, maybe? So if you did, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, and thanks for watching.